Howdy, Brother John, coming from Minnesota, Texas. Today is the 5th of June, 2018. The topic of this is what I call the proven path to satisfaction. And I'm going to say it several times, so let me just go over it briefly. There's just three quick elements, but don't dismiss it because it's so short. It's powerful. Proven path to satisfaction. 1, seek truth earnestly. 2, love others compassionately. 3, contribute to community generously. Real simple, real basic. Okay, I heard that. Next. No, that is the beginning. That's the skin of the beginning of the tip of the iceberg of the start of the, however you want to say that. I'm in my bedroom / office, right? So there's my bed, and there's my desk. There's my desk, which is really a giant table. I love it. I'm sitting here on the floor because the sunlight is here. I'm told that sunlight's the best kind of light. I'm sitting at my desk. It was really shiny all over my little heady poo. Oh, by the way, I, I, I'm considering cutting off all my hair, being bald in the near future. So it's maybe one of the last times you see hair on me for a while. So remember, it's kind of a dark red, brown, auburn, whatever. It's still gray with a little bit of black. So the last time you see this for a while. Maybe not. Don't know. But I'm leaning that way pretty heavily. So, back to the topic. Context, background. My lifelong struggle is to keep it simple. If you ever want to pray for me, just pray for God. John, keep it simple. I like to think wide and deep on things, but I understand, appreciate, and respect when I've come across books or podcasts or videos where they distill things into little chunks. And so I love that. I get a bookstore or library, I fan through it. There's a diagram that has, boxes and circles and arrows, and where the thesis is just right there. Boom! I'm with my kind of people. So I seek for that. And sometimes, and I pray often for wisdom. James chapter 1 talks about praying for wisdom. I pray for it a lot. And ask other people, like, here's how I pray for me to have wisdom. And you look at Proverbs, it says, look for wisdom, look for insight, look for understanding. So I pray for that a lot. So this is kind of like so you see, that's kind of like, this kind of came together, I forget, years and years ago. And at one time, I was setting up my profile on, when Google Plus came out, which is kind of like this came a long time ago. It's going to be competition for Facebook. It worked very well. But it is kind of a way to have a summary of your stuff. And Google knows everything about you anyway, but it's kind of like, here, you can, anyway. So there was some little thing like a summary, like a tagline, kind of like, tell us a little about yourself briefly. And so that was when it that's the first time I remember articulating it and putting it out there publicly, just those 3 sentences. I'm going to get more and more into them later. So sitting there dormantly for years, and then today is Tuesday, so 2 days ago on Sunday at church, there was an announcement about, what's a small church, like 45 people. One of the members is going to graduate from high school, and it's a big deal. And so one of the pastor's wife put some greeting cards out on the hospitality table to fill out for this woman that's graduating, bless her heart, prayer. And so this came to my mind. Because it's kind of like, and I ask you this, and I'm going to get more into this in a moment. What would you say? I'm 65, okay? You could be 55, 25, 35, 15. What can you say that would transcend generations, that would be useful and valuable? You could put on a postcard, you could put on an index card that would bless and benefit and help others, become a meme, if you will. That's kind of a quotable quote in somebody's book. So how would you offer that? In life in general, which this is, or maybe parenting or marriage or football, baseball, basketball, weight loss, whatever, budgeting. So how do you distill truth into itty bitty chunks? So I offer that to you. I'm gonna keep these. What I'm gonna do here? Let's go about 5 minutes. I'm gonna do a bunch of short videos. So now you kind of know the background, the context, the frame, the big frame. Big frame around the whole thing. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna read what became like a blog post. This is kind of wordy, but I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna put that blog post into the show notes. When they call them show notes, you call them whatever the doodly doo, Danny Bobby Jiggy below the YouTube thing. So you'll see that because it's kind of dense. I like to write, so I thought it through carefully, and I've done a lot of tweaking and jiggling and editing, and so it's kind of dense. You may want to read it. I'm gonna read to you. You may want to read it and copy it and paste it and share it, whatever you want. Then, Lord willing, I believe I got time. Either sooner or later, I'm going to do a video on each of those three, and what I say and I feel about seeking truth earnestly, about loving others compassionately, about contributing to community generously, to round it out. And final thought is that I have been studying how to do online ministry for a lot of years. And from a lot of different people, Christian perspective, secular perspective, taking courses, online courses in making videos and different things, and learn more and more that people want authenticity. They want they don't want they just like this the stutter stumble, where I did the little square, it went off. So perfection. I and others want to be perfect. So you have a retake, and like when I edited this, I want to get exactly what I was feeling. There's a place for that in editing and writing, but doesn't necessarily translate well in these kinds of videos. I'm not talking to a TED Talk with bazillion people all over cyberspace for the next 30 years, and get every single word and every phrase and every pause. No, we're not there. This is kind of like John talking to you, and so I'm learning that skill set. I have done presentations, brown bag lunches where I'm talking to a group, and I'm okay with that. I preached to small congregations. I really enjoyed that. I've done different things. This is a new skill set. Just bear with me as I learn and stumble along. So I'm going to conclude there, but know that there are several more things to come. The text, and then if you're riffing, that word riffing on the those three items. And I'm just going to say this right here, right now. I'm going to say it, not going to say it later. I feel a little bit scared about those last three because I haven't tightly outlined them. I haven't thought them through carefully. It's kind of like a first draft, okay? Because I'm a writer, and so when you write, you just kind of like dump. So I'm going to kind of like do a dump on you, knowing that I tell myself that in the future I will go back and review and revise and tweak and adjust and modify this. Perhaps I'm not even going to promise it. This may be the only time I do it, but likely I will in the future do a revision with more order and etc. That's about enough. So I'll conclude with Shalom.